Hey y'all, let's talk about this new casting from Matchbox for just a minute. This is the GM Brightdrop Zevo 600, and normally this isn't something that would probably be on my radar, but this casting is so popular right now that I just kind of have to talk about it. So I found 4 of these in the wild so far, and I think they're coming in 2 to a case. I found 2 at one store and picked them both up. The next week I found 2 in another store and I didn't get those, but I went back to that same store not long after that and they had already been picked up. And from everything I'm hearing, these are just kind of flying off the pegs. So, kind of interesting. And I can only assume that a lot of that has to do with the actual real life vehicle itself. So, I guess first off, let's go ahead and kind of look at this casting a little bit more. Of course, it's part of the Matchbox Working Rigs line. And, these are usually a little bit bigger, heavier, more detailed castings. A lot of times you'll see things like backhoes, track hoes, road graders, like garbage trucks, things like that. And these aren't like $1.25 mainline. This is, around a $7 vehicle. So, definitely a little bit more detail and a little bit more heft to these. So also we have the Brightdrop logo up here, which is pretty cool, and it's part of the Matchbox 70-year celebration. Probably, I guess, one of the most interesting things here is that you notice the green on the side of the card here, and this is made with recycled zinc, and this is something that Matchbox has kind of started to do. I think they've had 2, maybe more, but 2 other castings that were quite a bit of recycled material. So pretty interesting there. And of course, it fits pretty well with the electric vehicle theme here. So let's just go ahead and look at the casting. I think we've looked at the card. Card's pretty detailed. And a lot of detail, like I said, on this actual vehicle itself. In the tampos, for sure. A lot of writing on here. It's pretty small stuff, a lot of numbers. And I guess we'll start out the front here, but a lot of detail work even on the casting, on the grill. Glass here, some, I'm assuming these would be like antennas, lights up here. Of course, you have the mirror. Quite a bit of numbers and no cash on board. Love that. FedEx.com, you have the US DOT number. Pretty cool. All this are really clean tampos, guys, and very easy to read. Of course, you have all the FedEx stuff here and the electric vehicle. Really well done with the design, and obviously this is a real life vehicle, so they're kind of staying true to that. And I think they did a good job of that. It really looks like the actual van itself. You film this right, set it the right way, you would probably think this is the real deal. So, on to the actual real life vehicle, because like I said, I think that's what's making this thing so popular. Brightdrop obviously is part of GM. Very quick growing company as far as I understand. And the reason we have these in FedEx is, as far as I know, so far FedEx is the only company that has these vehicles, basically. Oh, I'm sure there's a few outliers, but they had the first orders for these vehicles. Now, probably the most interesting thing, I guess, about this is that it has a payload of, I think, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,500 pounds, but the vehicle itself weighs under 10,000 pounds. And so that's interesting because, at least in the US, that changes some of the licensing requirements to drive it. So it has a range of, I think, around 250 miles. And so far, I believe what they have is an all-wheel drive version that has 2 motors. I couldn't really find the specs on that. I do know that they supposedly cost around $85,000. And they're supposed to be making another model that has just 1 motor. The single motor version is going to be around 300 horsepower and a little over 300 foot-pounds of torque. So I can only assume that the one with 2 motors is probably around double that. One of the things that they said about the single motor was that it should have a little bit longer range, hopefully. So, quite a few interesting performance specs there. And as far as the casting goes, I think the FedEx stuff is seems to be fairly popular anyway. There's a FedEx, just more of a regular, like a main line out in this, and it's fairly popular too. But guys, I wouldn't be surprised. I was reading for this, I saw that Walmart had also placed some orders for these vehicles. So it would not surprise me in the least to see maybe next year or the year after this vehicle pop up again in some Walmart deco. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. Y'all, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this. That's kind of the extent of my knowledge on it. It is a really nice casting. If you're into this sort of thing, it'd definitely be a good pickup. I've noticed these going on the secondary market. At one time, it looked like they were going to be going for around 20, maybe, but I don't think that really came to fruition. I think you can probably get them for around the $15 shipped mark, which is pretty good because, like I said, these things are like a $7 or $8 vehicle in store anyway. So seems like the price hasn't really went up on them all that much. They're just pretty popular and kind of hard to get a hold of. So if you want one, hopefully you can get one. Guys, in the comments, leave me your thoughts on it. Is this something that was on your radar? Is it something you're looking for? If it is something you're interested in, what's popular about it? And as I'm looking here, I guess I should bring up one more feature here. It is a moving parts vehicle, so this door does raise up. Of course, I'm sitting right here looking at it on the picture and didn't even think a thing about it. Don't think I'm going to open this just yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I've already traded the other one off, but like I said, just leave me your thoughts in the comments. I'm really interested to see what people are thinking on this. If you do like it, what is the draw for you? I've already seen some comments where I've talked about this in some other places that a lot of people just don't like it. They don't like the electric vehicles at all. Don't like them in the Hot Wheels or Matchbox. And I can kind of see that. So far, a lot of the EVs are kind of less popular castings. So it's kind of interesting to see this one be so popular. So really interested to see what happens with this long term and see if they come out with any more of these, see if they're as popular as this one. Guys, appreciate y'all watching so far. If you're still with us, give us a like and a subscribe. Be sure to check out some of our other videos. If you think somebody else might like this, feel free to share it with them. We'd really appreciate that. Hope everybody's having a good week, and happy hunting, y'all.